If you've ever wanted to make a super simple, seeded, super healthy bread, this recipe is for you. So I got everything laid out. Look, all of these ingredients are replaceable. You can substitute anything for anything. I got millet, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, and I got some psyllium husk. Millet gives it that great crunch, and psyllium husk is just going to make it a bit lighter. And I'm using two different flours, whole wheat flour and whole spelt flour. Here I got some millet, flax seeds, sunflower seeds. I got whole spelt flour, whole wheat flour. You need a little bit of water, and you'll see it'll come together really well. This is the almond slices and psyllium husk. Here are some chia seeds and rye flakes. And this is the bread pan that I'm using. You can use whatever size you have, but this is not going to hold its shape without a pan. I mix all the flour together and then add all the ingredients. Now the ratios, honestly, I don't measure anything. It's just whatever I have on hand. And even if you didn't want to use flour, you could do the whole thing with just the seeds and grains. I added a little bit of salt in there, by the way, and I added some active dry yeast, and then you mix it all together just a little bit. Obviously, it's not easy with one hand. And then add water. You add water a little bit at a time. You want it to be a little bit on a thicker paste, but it's okay if it's a little bit runny. Guess what? The more water you have in there, the more fluffy and airy it'll be. So as long as it's not like liquid, you're fine. But here you can see it's too dry. I'm just going to add a little bit more water. The room was kind of cold, so I just added a bit of a warmer water temperature. I mean, I just didn't want it to be super cold. Once everything's mixed, I drizzle a little bit of olive oil, I cover it, and I'm gonna let it sit for about 30 minutes. What you want to do is kind of turn it. Obviously with one hand it's hard, but you can see I'm just kind of flipping from the bottom and coming up. You don't need to mix this too much before you let it sit, because everything's going to break apart super easy. There's not a lot of gluten holding anything together. So be gentle with it. Obviously, I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of mix, getting the olive oil mixed around in there. And then you cover it again, let it sit for another 30 minutes or until you can see, it won't double, but it got maybe a third bigger. I wet my hands and then I kind of folded one more time. You don't want to push out too much of the bubbles, though it's not a big deal. This bread is very forgiving. I shape it into a bit of a loaf, and then I'm gonna go ahead and shove it in there, but I have to use parchment paper, otherwise it's gonna stick. I push it down a little bit. Don't push it down too hard again, it's just gonna make it dense. Here are some raw sesame seeds because they're gonna bake and get nice and crispy. And I'm gonna put this in a plastic bag just for it to stay moist and also to puff up. It's gonna keep the temperature. And I'm gonna put it on top of my stove, which usually runs on the warmer side. You can let it sit for an hour and a half, but basically once it gets big, like not fully doubles, but you can see it looks like that. It came out the sides a little bit. Again, it's not gonna get that big. And I have it at about 425. You can go up to 450 and then bring it back down to 375 later. Here it is halfway baked. I'm gonna let it bake a little bit longer, remove the parchment, let it cool down. Look how beautiful it is, nice and brown on the outside. And once it's fully cooled, you can start cutting it. Look at this beauty. Now, if you want more recipes like this, follow my channel, Dr. Ashori, family medicine physician turned health coach, delivering beautiful recipes that are healthy for you.